I'm Larissa Becker. Welcome to this presentation for MKG222, Marketing for Social Causes at the University of Sunshine Coast. This is my social cause intervention plan. The social cause that will be unpacked today in this presentation is that of organ donation, specifically within Australia. Firstly, an overview of what is expected to be covered in this presentation. I'll be looking at where organ donation is currently within Australia and why organ donation is a social cause. What are the effects of low organ donation rates and why does it matter? The social cause, what has already been done in this space, how did it go, and what might be the keys to unlocking this social cause. We will look at the behavioural theory of planned behaviour and unpacked it a little in relation to organ donation behaviours. We've defined the target market. Quickly, we're looking at 18 to 30-year-old Australians. After undertaking the scoping study on organ donation, we have specified what action we would like the defined target market to undertake, and this will in turn determine the type of intervention we've created. In this case, we're requiring the behaviour of a one-time action of registering to be an organ donor. Following, we will actually unpack the intervention, which due to the type of target market we're dealing with, it is a social media campaign, addressing how the target market thinks about the action, making them feel it is necessary and helping them to do the action. Every intervention must have an evaluation strategy. This helps to determine if the intervention is successful. For this intervention, there are two evaluation strategies. Tracking the number of new registrations via the Australian Organ Donation Registrar, and social media data is collected using free online application. This makes it easy to track and update the intervention if necessary, and it's also very low cost. Okay, so to give you a look at how we'll be moving through this presentation, we're starting with the introduction, scoping study, then the breakdown on the intervention plan, including the intervention aim, potential partners or stakeholders, the product, price, place, promotion, creative and evaluation strategies. We'll consider any ethical considerations there might be and finish with the conclusion. So, getting started, what is organ donation and why is it a social cause in Australia? It was found that 69% of Australians are willing to be organ donors when asked, but it was also found that only 3.8% are officially registered. Australia has one of the lowest organ donation rates in the developed world. In 2011, we were actually coming 10th behind the US, UK, and Spain, who had the highest. However, there is a silver lining. We do have one of the highest organ transplant success rates in the world. In Australia, there are approximately 1,400 people on the waiting list for an organ transplant at any one time, and this number has been stable for quite a while. Currently, there are 6,422,328 official registered donors. One donor can save up to 10 lives. The cost of end-stage organ failure to the community and health sector is in many ways unmeasurable. Many of these people need medical attention weekly or daily to stay alive. Australia has been attempting to increase donation rates for over 25 years. It is important to note that many countries doing extremely well in this space have changed their laws around organ donation. But for the purpose of this report, we will be looking at downstream interventions. The Australian Government have stated that more active engagement is needed to create awareness and educate Australians regarding the importance of organ donation. Looking at all the facts and figures, it can be concluded that currently there is a large gap between Australia's attitude towards organ donation, which on the surface seems quite positive, and the action to actually register. So what makes up this attitudinal gap for Australians when it comes to organ donation? What behaviours need to be changed and who's our target market? Looking at research and other interventions that have taken place, it has been stated that there are two main factors influencing the rate of organ donation in Australia. One, people taking the time to actually officially register to be an organ donor, and two, the conversation with family and loved ones about their decision. or wishes. As mentioned before, there is a large gap between attitude and its respective behaviour. The most common behavioural theory used when unpacking organisation is the theory of planned behaviour. It was found that people are more likely to register when they have more information. In one study that was conducted, a group of uni students that were studying to be nurses were asked if they were or would register to be organ donors, and there was a higher level of compliance from those that were in their final years of study than those just starting out or in their first years. In some circles, there is a high level of medical mistrust or myths regarding organ donation, and this can greatly affect organ donation rates. As previously mentioned, the most common framework discussed and proven useful when looking at the intention to register to become an organ donor is the theory of planned behaviour. This is an attitudinal theory developed by Fishburne and Eidson and was an extension of their earlier theory of reasoned action. It looks at an individual's action based on three factors: attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioural control. These three factors, which could be classed as the think part of think, feel, do, and they affect the individual's intention to perform the action or feel. This does not necessarily mean that they will perform the action, the do. There can be factors that determine if this will then lead to action. These can be called barriers. Let's go through an example as seen in the slide. The attitude could be, I'm too busy right now. The subjective norm could be, I'm not sure it's a popular decision. And the perceived behavioural control could be, does it really matter if I register? This can all lead to the intention. Between the intention and the actual action to register to become an organ donor, there can be barriers. These could be, it takes too long, it's complicated, it's not the right time, I don't feel informed enough. Attitude for the most of Australians seems to be positive, but there's still that gap between positivity and the actual action. So attitude could still need to be addressed. The biggest focus for us is the subjective norms. It's very important to address those barriers between the intention and the action, especially for social causes. Before looking at the details of the intervention plan, it is important to understand who the people are we are trying to influence. Geographically, we are sticking with Australian residents. As mentioned before, overall they seem to have a positive attitude towards organ donation. We're focusing on those living in more built-up areas and those that have access to the internet and are active on social media. This target market is not gender specific, mainly due to the fact that organ donation is not gender specific. Almost any age person can be an organ donor. However, in the case of this target market, we are focusing on individuals, married or single, family or no family, aged between 18 to mid-30s. This is due to the psychographic and behavioural qualities they have, which we'll go through in a second. Also important to note that this intervention plan does not aim to alter anyone's religious views towards organ donation, but to push those with a somewhat positive view on organ donation to act on those. Behaviourally, this target market is active on social media. They want to feel they are making a personal decision based on what they believe to be right, but they also want to feel they are making a popular decision that allows them to be part of a collective of people. They have thought about organ donation, but haven't yet done anything official about it. They feel their time is valuable and feel they have little time to spare. Psychographically, they would consider themselves to be good people. When asked, they would say that they would help somebody in need. They have that help their mate mentality that Australians are known for. As mentioned before, they are open to the topic of organ donation and want to feel they are making that popular decision. But at the same time, they want to feel it is the right decision. This also comes through feeling that they are informed about their decision and know what they're talking about or know what they're doing. To sum up, this group are people moving into adulthood or feel that they are young adults. They have registered to vote or maybe moved out of home and like the idea of being able to make decisions for themselves. They want to feel that what they are doing in life and want to, excuse me, they want to feel that they know what they are doing in life and want to feel they have made a decision based on what they know to be best, but also unknowingly still like to feel they are making this popular decision. As previously mentioned, there are two main factors that influence organ donation rates: registration and conversation. To ensure that this intervention plan is effective, it has been decided that only one action should be targeted to ensure that an effective intervention plan is created. This desired action is to encourage a one-time behaviour to register to become an organ donor. This is a downstream strategic intervention focused on the needs and wants of the target market. So now we have completed our scoping study, we've decided who our target market is, our behavioural theory, and our desired action. So we're going to go through the intervention plan itself, what the aims of the plan is, any partnerships or stakeholders, and then the detailed plan using the 4Ps marketing framework. So this intervention aims to create awareness. Awareness will address both the subjective norms and perceived behavioural controls. People will see that it is a popular decision through this intervention, and they will understand that their actions can make a difference and they have control or influence through their actions to make a difference. It also aims to change attitudes. It has been mentioned that Australia has a surface level positive attitude towards organ donation, but this attitude doesn't necessarily translate to the desired action. So this intervention will look at addressing those. Overall, the aim of this intervention is to increase the number of Australians registered as organ donors on the official government register. This social cause intervention plan is a social media campaign. Therefore, we would be partnering with Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram to perform this social media intervention. So now we're going to break down the social cause intervention using the 4Ps framework of product, price, place, and promotion. So starting with our product strategy. The core product, or what makes the desired behaviour worthwhile, for this intervention plan, that is that the individual is making steps towards changing someone's life. They have made a positive decision for themselves and for others. The actual product, or the way in which the individual will actually achieve the desired behaviour. In this intervention plan, it is registering to become an organ or tissue donor on the Australian Organ Donor Register. Furthermore, show that they have support towards organ donation by posting on social media. Lastly, the actual product or the attitude that will help the individual perform the desired behaviour. For this intervention is access to customised social media filters due to the fact they have registered to be an organ donor, access to information regarding the decision they have made in the form of a website that is mobile friendly. In the case of most social marketing or social media campaign, the biggest price people have to pay is usually non-monetary, and this is true for this intervention plan. There is no cost to the behaviour that is being encouraged, the one-time action to register to become a donor. However, there are non-monetary costs to consider. Time. It will take time to register. This intervention plan has been designed so it takes as little time as possible, looking to create pathways from the social media campaign straight to a page that they can register to become an organ donor right on their smart devices. Effort. It will take some effort to register. However, once again, only the required information that is needed by the Australian government to officially register is being asked, attempting to make the process as simple as possible. Allowing the individual to register on their phone or handheld device also eliminates the effort of having to log onto a computer or go into an office to fill in paperwork. Psychological. There can be some psychological costs to the individual. We are asking them to think about what happens to them after they pass away. This is not an easy topic to consider for many people. Avoiding associating organ donation with the individual's death, but instead the fact that it helps other people have a longer life, avoids making the topic depressing, but instead a positive one. As already mentioned, this promotional strategy is a social media campaign. We've chosen a social media campaign because it's proven to be effective. Using the features that social media can offer to connect with the desired target market. This type of target market has been chosen due to the fact that it fits with the target market. This is what they are using. 99% of people aged between 18 and 29 own a smartphone. Over 90% of those people will access the internet on a daily basis, and 89% of people aged between 18 and 29 will access social media at least once a day. This is an average, so many are accessing it multiple times a day. The most common times it's being viewed is first thing in the morning and late in the evening. It's easily updatable, it's cost effective, can be customized to be delivered at a specific time frame or to a specific audience, and it has a higher conversation rate. This means that people are more likely to engage and communicate and create conversation via social media than any other avenue. Geographical location will be hard to determine in the case of this intervention. Instead, place will be defined in relation to where the individual might be when they are interacting with our social media campaign. Firstly, it will be majority smartphone based. More and more people are using their smartphone devices for all online activity, and making sure they can undertake the behaviour we are asking them without having to switch devices will be a must. As mentioned before, this target market is using their phones to access social media, mostly in the mornings or at night. This will be the times when ads are published. These ads will direct individuals to register to become an organ donor right on their devices. After registering, they will have access to exclusive social media add-ons such as Snapchat filters. This campaign hopes to engage with people when they are relaxed and feel they are not in a rush, in hopes that they will feel they have time to register. There are many different ways in which social media could be used for this intervention, with Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat and Twitter all having multiple features and functions. I'm going to go through one option that could be used with the help of Snapchat's features, keeping in mind that including all the before mentioned social media apps together at the same time in some kind of capacity is also a wise option. For example, even if Snapchat was the main avenue, posts and updates on other social media platforms should also be included with the same themes and messages across all platforms. But because of time, we will focus on how Snapchat can be used. During peak times, an ad can run on Snapchat that also includes a swipe up feature. When the individual swipes up, they are given two options. One, register to be an organ donor right then and there on their phone, or two, find out more. Option 1 instructs them to give some details to register to be an organ donor. After completing this section, they are then directed or shown that they have access to a number of exclusive filters that can be used on their Snapchat account. These filters all include the statement, "I'm an organ donor," and also allow those who view that Snapchat with the applied filter to also swipe up and give them the same two options. Option 2 leads them to a website where they can continue to read or watch information about organ donation, what it is, how it works, and how they can register. These are some examples of the ads that would initially run on social media. As mentioned before, these ads help to make the thought of organ donation a positive one, steering away from connecting organ donation with an end-of-life decision, but towards something more positive, which is the fact that you can help to save 10 lives. It also helps to promote that popular decision, making it feel like it's the thing to do for individuals. The statement, "I'm an organ donor," gives people the indication that there is no other option but to be one, and the hashtag makes it relatable to our target market. The following evaluation strategies are based off the 3 before mentioned aims of our intervention. What is being measured, firstly, is the number of Australians registered to be an organ donor. How it's going to be measured is that through the Australian Government Department of Health, as they keep a record of official organ donors. When this will be measured is before the campaign, during the campaign, right after the campaign, and sometime after the campaign. These times have been chosen so that we can have a starting point, know how well the campaign is going and see if we have to make any changes, then see how well the campaign did and see how long it lasted or the buzz lasted after the campaign. Second, target market's attitude towards organ donation. How it will be measured is through social media monitoring tools, which are free. Again, during the campaign, before the campaign, during the campaign, right after the campaign, and sometime after the campaign. Furthermore, a questionnaire could be conducted, asking questions in relation to changed attitudes of the target market. This could also be done through social media. Thirdly, target market's awareness of organ donation. This, again, can be done through social media monitoring tools, as these tools allow you to select specific words and associated positive or negative words in conjunction to organ donation. This would mostly be effective after the campaign. So we've outlined our intervention plan and we hope for the best, but we have to consider what might go wrong or what ethical considerations there need to be. So some negative ethical considerations to consider. The wrong target market encounters the social media campaign. So this could be people that have been affected negatively by organ donation. Maybe a family member has passed away, and so this social media campaign reaches them. That can be unavoidable. So yeah, too many people are active on the registration page and it doesn't work. So we get too many people using the page. We're dealing with technology, so maybe it goes down. This means we lose momentum and the messages are taken the wrong way. So we might put a message out there and people might take it the wrong way, and that will affect the campaign negatively. Positively, it goes viral and takes on a face of its own, so the campaign continues without any push from behind. Organ donation rates increase far beyond what is needed, and organ donation is not considered a social cause anymore. Alrighty, so in conclusion, we've talked about organ donation in Australia and the fact that it is a social cause. We've discussed the theory of planned behaviour and how that relates to organ donation and created an intervention plan that addresses the 3 factors of the theory of planned behaviour. We worked with our target market of 18 to 30-year-olds based on their psychographic and behavioural segmentations mostly. We were looking at a one-time action of registering to become an organ donor, and we based our intervention plan off that. Due to our target market, we chose a social media campaign. We addressed the think, feel, do in our social media campaign and addressed the evaluation strategy.